good.
Hej og velkommen til Dråben. Mit navn er Louis.
Mit navn det er Emil.
And today it will be in English.
It'll be in English today.
Actually, because we have a very, very special guest. We're very honored that you wanted to join our podcast. We have ArrDee in the house.
Yeah. Welcome, bro. Welcome, bro.
Thank you for having me.
How are
man.
you?
I'm good. I'm cold. It's cold over
It's
here, bro.
cold.
But I'm good. It's cozy in here. So.
Yeah.
Isn't it cold in England as well? I feel like it's the same.
It's different kind of cold though. I mean, you have like clean cold.
Yeah.
It feels fresh, the air.
I wanted to know, you're from Brighton, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. But it's the south of England, so is it much colder there, or is it like what's the weather like in Brighton?
Well,
You have beaches and stuff?
Yeah. So like by the sea is colder, but also if you go to like Newcastle, which is like all the way north,
Yeah.
that's right behind Scotland, and Scotland is fucking cold.
Okay.
It's freezing.
How are you finding Copenhagen so far?
Yeah, it's been nice. I was saying where the hotel is, I don't know exactly where it is, but all the buildings that are around it, it looks like an episode of Black Mirror. Everything looks like mad modern.
It
and
doesn't
like
look nice
clean.
though.
No, it looks nice, but just like clean and modern. I feel like the building's about to turn into a transformer or something. It just looks mad clean.
I want to know where that is though.
Yeah. I've got a photo. I'll show you afterwards.
It sounds like London a bit.
It just looks mad modern and like high-rise buildings. I must be like quite close in the center. And we've done some shopping, so.
Cool, man. Have you ever been to Denmark before, Copenhagen?
No. A lot of the tour I haven't done before. So.
Your first time?
Yeah,
So
man.
a big welcome.
Yeah, literally that.
Yeah.
I hope the show goes well as well.
Are you staying for just today or?
We leave at 2 a.m. Are we staying tonight? No, we leave at 2 a.m.
Okay, yeah.
So you
Until next show.
got a show in Brussels tomorrow, I think?
Brussels is next, yeah.
Crazy.
Seems intense on a tour. How is it?
I mean, it has its positives and its negatives. I mean, especially because I'm on a tour bus, and like now, not every city we stay in. So like today, there's about 13 of us as a crew, but we only get 3 hotel rooms.
Okay.
So like it's like cram a bunch of people in, everybody showers because we've just been on a stinky bus for like 18 hours. It's like 18, 19-hour drives. Sometimes when you want like your own personal space,
of course.
like my best friend will be pissing me off, but I can't get away from him because we're all on the same bus.
You only have
but
3
then
rooms.
on the flip side of that, you get to tour the world or the Europe continent, for example, with your best friends, and there's parties and there's girls and shows, and it's fun, man.
Always downsides to everything, but it sounds like a dream to be true, though.
Yeah, it's definitely living a dream. Right now.
Cool, man. So you're 4 shows deep in your European tour, right?
Yes, this will be the 5th, I think.
Yeah, Cologne, Amsterdam, Oslo, and Stockholm.
Yeah.
What's been the best show so far? It's a difficult question, and it's a.
That's a good question. Different shows for different reasons. So I think it was it yesterday or the one before where it was like quite a young crowd? It was day before. It was Oslo, wasn't it?
No, the one where the stage was bare clean.
The stage was bare clean.
Well, basically, I think it might have been Stockholm. It was quite a young crowd, so there were like kids there with their parents and stuff. But also, it was like really feel good. There was a kid.
Nice.
It was his birthday. It was his 13th birthday. So I got him on the stage. Whole crowd sang happy birthday to him. So that made me feel good.
Wholesome.
Yeah, it was a wholesome show. Whereas like Amsterdam, which is wild. You know what I'm saying? Like it was packed to the end, and party was wild. To be fair, Cologne was the first one, was probably the wildest. So yeah, maybe Cologne.
I've heard some German hip hop fans, it should be like crazy, but to inform you, like the Danish fans are crazy as well. Like
I've been stopped. I think this city is the one that I've been stopped in the most for photos.
Really?
And like, oh my god, like and just like excited to see me.
Yeah.
And they've all said, yo, like they go crazy over here. So I'm excited for this one. Man.
That's good.
It's cool to hear. Like our fan base for our podcast as well is always like we're discussing your music sometimes as well. It's like,
okay.
We read with the fans as well. So I get that.
So you do a lot of shows on the tour, and it seems like they all just. I mean, they fall into like the one you can't remember where, what happened, etc.
Exactly that.
But do you have like throughout your career one show what you think? Okay, that one was special.
You know what? I'll give 2. I'll give a UK one and an abroad one. But my favourite ever UK show was do you lot know Leeds Festival in the UK?
Yes.
So I always preferred doing the rap tents. So I have the main stage, and then I was on the second biggest stage.
Yeah, okay.
But the rock band, or like whatever the genre band is, 1975 had backed out from their set.
What?
So the entire festival crammed in this one rap tent to come
Really?
and see me.
So there were
no
no
one
other
else
concerts?
on, and
Okay,
it was
crazy.
like 10 p.m. at night. And the stage manager and security come up to me, and they were like, "You can't go on And I was like, why? And they was like, they're going too crazy out there for you. Like
Wow.
you're about to burn this tent down, basically.
Yeah.
And I was like, the longer you leave it, the worse it's gonna get. So
Like
I
it's
went
too
out.
dangerous.
Yeah, literally, like it's
Wow.
too dangerous. But I was like, look, I'll get out there, I'll calm them down. I was completely changed.
I'll calm them down.
But went out there.
I can't
and
imagine you doing that though.
Literally, I just had them in like the palm of my hand. Anything I could have said, they would have done it. Just the crowd control, the feeling, like the euphoria of the whole thing. So yeah, UK wise, and then abroad, I think Sydney had to be one of my favorite shows. Australia loved me anyway, but it's my first ever. I don't know if you saw the video; it went viral. But I stage dived into the crowd,
So it was crazy.
and I looked like one of them flying little bat things. And yeah, it was just funny. It was just funny as fuck, and it was just Australia parties and just they're wild. That's like the wildest side of the planet I've been on so far. Is Australia.
Crazy, man. Some insane experiences. It seems like, yeah.
Exactly that.
Yeah. Do you have time to like enjoy your tour when you're touring, or is it too intense? Is it too crammed, or can you take some time for yourself? It seems like you have a lot of guys with you, so.
Yeah, I mean it's all enjoyable.
Can you take it in?
No.
Okay.
So like when we done Australia, there was a lot of gap days.
Yeah.
So like we done one. We walked along one of the beaches in Brisbane at night time. And it was like cold, but it was just sick. And it was like I got to take it in with my friend and be like, yo, like we're on the other side of the world performing my tunes. Like that was like a proper soak it in moment.
Crazy.
I haven't done one so far, but that's not necessarily the tour's fault. I'm really bad at it in general because of my ADHD and just I'm constantly fucking moving all the time. I don't really take much time to relax and sit back, and especially when you've got the tour bus and we're moving from city to city to show to podcast to sound check to shopping to
so much happening.
showering. Just it's just it's a lot going on.
Do you have a moment like to take it in afterwards?
Yeah. Well, cameraman's a big part of that. We get to watch it all back.
Yeah,
obviously the public sees some of it, and some of it we keep to ourselves and whatnot. But yeah, we definitely get to relive it, and then when you relive it, that's kind of when you take it in. And it's like, yo, that was sick. So yeah.
Okay. Is there a lot of stuff that he films that you can't get in the video?
So much.
So much.
So, there's probably about 75% of the content I've ever shot could never go out there.
We need to get like a private link, like of ArrDee's backstage tour.
Yeah, maybe it'd be like a subscription kind of thing. Maybe.
Crazy.
I saw that in the Amsterdam video, there was a guy who wanted your signature on his arm and he wanted to tattoo it.
Yeah.
It seemed like a crazy fan experience. What's like the craziest fan moment that you've had?
I mean, I had to tell somebody off in Oslo because of how the room was, how like the venue was set up. They were a big fan, and I've like it felt good, of course. But in between songs, sometimes I just play song after song, and then certain times I might introduce or I might break it down, try to talk to the crowd.
Yeah, of course.
And they were just, I was like, yo, like chill, and she just wouldn't chill. That was kind of crazy.
Okay. So just some people that's freaking out.
I've had loads of fans come up to me and asked. I've had girls have me sign their bum cheek and they get that tattooed. I've had
That must be so
I've
crazy.
I've had somebody made me write my litty for really around the whole of their leg. And bearing in mind the inside of your thigh, that would be painful to get tattooed.
Yes.
And he come back in 10 minutes. By the time he was at a CD signing CDs, I signed his leg. By the time I signed my last CD, he'd come back and got it tattooed. It was on. Yeah, it was that rapid. There's loads of I've got a few
People are
I'm
crazy,
not going to
man.
drop any names. I do know their names, but I don't know if they want me to disclose them. But I've got a few super fans in certain cities and countries that like I know by name and that I have to try and
That's cool.
keep happing, but also be aware of.
But that's cool though to get in touch with the people that really fuck with you.
Yeah,
your
of
music.
course.
We saw that you watched the World Cup game yesterday, England versus Iran.
Congrats.
Yeah.
Congrats, on the win.
Slap them.
Everyone knew you would though.
I mean, I'm kind of frustrated that it wasn't a clean sheet.
Yeah.
I mean, I think it should have been 5-0.
But even though there has been like a lot of confusion or like what could you say, skepticism about Southgate and his like training, his methods and stuff.
Yeah.
But how far do you think England will go this year in the World Cup?
I mean, I have to say it's coming home. Just
That's what we wanted to hear though.
Just because I'm a Brit, I have to say it's coming home.
For sure.
But also, everybody slates Southgate's ideas and techniques. But when we was running the Euros and we got up to the final, like, this is the best management we've had in years, and this is just what we needed. And then when we lost the final, so I saw fucking
Everyone
Southgate's
hates
40 shit, like. So, British people are very quick to blame
Yeah.
things. And sometimes it's just not your time yet, you know what I mean? But it will come home.
For
it will
sure.
come home.
You mentioned the Euros.
Yeah.
You remember last year when you beat us in the semi-finals? England scored, I think it was in extra time.
Yeah.
And
Do
we
you know
were
what?
sure we were going to win. We were like, really, you should have seen the whole of Denmark. It was crazy.
Well, do you want me to
Like
tell
the
you something
scenes
about
here.
that?
Yeah,
I was, do you know a rapper from Birmingham called JK?
Yes,
He's a
yes,
UK
yes.
rapper.
yes,
So
we know.
I was in Ibiza with Nathan Dorr, JK.
Yeah?
Sorry.
Oh,
No problem, bro.
Yeah, I was in Ibiza with Nathan Dorr, JK. Who else was there? J1. There's a load of us.
Okay.
I was fresh faced 18. Body had just blown.
Okay.
So this was like
So
the
you're on
summer.
top of
This
the
was like the
world, though.
summer of my life.
Crazy.
I'd blown at the start of the year. Body had come out. Summer. I just first time ever going abroad without my
Yeah.
mum. Went to Ibiza Rocks bar, and then as I landed in Ibiza, we'd won the quarterfinals. So I knew we was going to the semi-finals,
Yeah.
and I bought Wembley tickets to the final
Really?
before we beat you lot. That's how, like, in my heart, I was like, we have to win. And when we scored that second goal, when I was in Ibiza, obviously Jake and everyone was there, but I hadn't met them ever in my
No.
life. And we scored that second goal. I sprinted, I ran up, and I got JK in a headlock, like kind of just like clinged onto his back, and I made like this dominoes effect of everybody in the bar fall over. And I bought the entire bar a pint and a round of tequila. And my accountant was not a happy person. But yeah, I remember that very, very well. That's on my
Okay.
Instagram somewhere.
Perfect, man.
Like
what a
what-
great story.
A night to remember.
Yeah, man,
But
for sure.
England are unpopular in Denmark because of that game.
Yeah,
Especially
really-
Sterling.
but the
Oh.
team is,
Yeah,
and
yeah.
especially Sterling. Yeah, I was gonna say like, I have to give him some slack, but like that diving scene, wow, that was crazy though.
Everyone was like, "Wow!"
Exactly.
Yeah.
exactly.
But I mean, then we got it back with Italy. If you
Yeah.
saw that foul that Saka got, I
Yeah,
mean, that
yeah,
should
yeah.
that
For
should
sure.
have been a red card.
For
in
sure,
my
and
opinion,
England was the better team in that match, so the better team won. So
Yeah,
yeah.
Yeah. So apart from the national team, which you're a Chelsea fan, right?
So yeah, Chelsea fan. Yeah.
Yeah, of course. And you have a favorite player, I think.
Well, like ever
No, I just,
at the moment.
I just read like so
Mason
it's-
Mount.
Exactly.
Yeah,
I Googled,
yeah,
and there are
yeah.
so many articles about you and Mason Mount. How did that come?
Well, yeah, I've met him once. So obviously, like I've been in contact with quite a few of the ballers. To be fair, it's a toss and turn between Mount and James. Obviously, James
Fair.
is injured at the moment, so he couldn't
Reece,
make it
yeah.
to the England squad. But yeah, so Reece James contacted me first. Obviously, it's like kind of public knowledge I'm a Chelsea fan.
Yeah.
And we'd previewed Flowers.
Mm-hmm.
And they wanted to play it in the locker room. So he's like, yo, you need to WhatsApp me this tune.
Sick.
And normally when things like
Sick,
that
yeah.
happen, you run it by my manager, and obviously the song wasn't out. I didn't want it to get leaked,
No,
but I
of
was just
course
like, fuck it, yeah, have
Yeah.
it. And yeah, we were smashing the football at that time, so I'll take some of the blame for it. And then yeah,
Because of the
obviously-
music, yeah.
Yeah, exactly. But I've met loads of rappers and American artists, and I've met people like Chris Brown and Tory Lanez, and like we've met loads of people, and I've never really had that like starstruck feeling, because
Yeah.
especially when it's in my own field of music,
Mm-hmm.
it's not like unfathomable to me, because I know I'm going to be there at one point.
Yeah,
you know
of
what I'm
course.
saying? But
But that's the confidence, like
yeah. So when football is something I've always watched on TV, and you see these guys on TV. So I went to a bar in London, a rooftop bar in London, and Mason Mount just walked in, and like my whole face went like 3 shades of white, and I was like nudging all my friends. I was like, "Bruv, it's Mason Mount," and they were like, "Just go over and say yo, he's
Yeah.
probably a fan." And I went over, and I was like, "Yo." And as I went to say I'm a big fan, he was like, "Oh shit, like I'm a fan." And I was like, "No,
crazy, man.
I'm a fan. Like, can I get a photo with you before you even get a photo
Yeah,
with me?"
yeah.
So yeah, that was probably one of my only like where I'm starstruck moments.
sick
It's
experience.
a cool moment.
Yeah, man.
Speaking of like football and football teams and this, we have a present for you.
Yeah.
And I think we should talk into the mic. The present is something to do with our football team.
Exactly.
Swear
So
down.
I'm here from Copenhagen.
Copenhagen,
So
yeah.
we're me and Louis are both big FC Copenhagen fans. Like I think the shirt is yeah. There we go.
Exactly.
Okay, well,
And
so this
then-
is you lot squad's team.
Exactly.
Exactly.
FC Copenhagen. Look on the back.
Oh shit!
There we
Do you
go.
know what? Is this like the most popular team in Copenhagen?
Yeah, it is.
it
It's
is.
the club
So
of
if I
Copenhagen.
wore it on stage, would there be a good
Yeah,
reaction?
like
Yeah, yeah.
FC Copenhagen is like the biggest team here in Copenhagen.
Yeah.
We have a rival. I won't say their name, but like they're on the outskirts of Copenhagen.
So if I wear this on stage,
Yes,
Yeah,
it
it's
will
I'll get a
be-
good reaction.
Of
Exactly.
course you will. Of course you will.
I'm gonna wear it on stage.
My
Cool,
guy,
cool,
my guy.
cool.
And we
Yeah,
wrote
that's
our media on the side as well as Drum.
Yeah.
So yeah, bro.
Perfect.
And there's to match with it to the cold weather, 2 ski masks in there as well.
Oh, sick, my guys. Yeah, perfect.
yeah, there
perfect.
you go. Yeah, just to say thank you so much for being here, bro.
Oh, it's a pleasure, man. Thanks for having me on.
Of
Of
course.
course, man.
So, when you sort of broke into the mainstream with Body, etc., you were sort of described as a drill rapper. How would you describe your genre as a rapper now?
I wouldn't even describe myself as a rapper. I'd describe myself as an artist. I mean, I got maybe not so much other ones that are out. I got Early Hours out, and I'm singing on the hook.
Yeah.
And we've got like Who Would Have Thought, which is like an orchestral song at the end of my mixtape, and every single instrument in that, from the drums to the piano to the little electric guitars, that's all made all in a live session that we ended up importing into Logic. That was like a sick vibe. So yeah, I just like to experiment with music, and I think especially within the next stuff I put out and the project that I'm working on at the moment, it will really show the different levels of artistry that I have to show the level up of UK music in itself, but also my music as well. So yeah, I just artist.
Do you think like does it annoy you a bit when people like describe you? I think it's been faded a little bit. Like people describe you not as much anymore as a drill rapper, but they did in the past.
I mean, it can't be something that I'm allowed to be frustrated at, because if it's all I'm putting out or I'm letting the people see, then that's what they're gonna gauge from. Do you know what I'm saying? But sometimes you only see what I want you to see.
Of course.
You know what I'm saying? So
it's all planned.
Yeah, of course, it's all planned, and I want my fans to grow with me. If I just sped through everything, it would be difficult for my audience to know whether they want to be a fan or not, or know whether they love me, because they haven't joined anything yet. Because like, okay, well, what is it that they're buying into? That's what marketing is almost, isn't it?
For sure. I think like you came up and like drill was like on the highest and the peak, like
definitely.
And then like naturally, I think it's not faded. It's like very popular, of course, still, but it's like I think it's like fading a little bit.
Yeah, I mean, I don't necessarily think it's a bad thing. I think
no,
it got to a point where it was like all anybody would make was a drill song or a sample drill song or like a 140 BPM rap song, and it just like my own playlist got boring, and I'll be the first to say like I was putting out drill, and I got bored, so I had to go back to the drawing board, and like obviously I done this because I fell in love with music, and I fell out of love with it a bit because it got a bit tedious even from me. So I was like, yo, let me go back to how I started and find that hunger again and get back in the studio and stay there for 2 weeks and make a rap tune and make a club tune and then make a sad song and sing and make all sorts of music.
For sure. Let's talk about that a little bit, because you've been, as we've of course researched, so you've been making music for a long time, right?
Yeah.
Since you were 12, I saw. So that's a long time.
Yeah.
So I can't imagine you've been making the same music, like you've been making drill since you were 12.
Making 8 years of drill songs.
That would be sick. Drill as a 12-year-old.
Yeah, imagine.
What did you start out with when you were 12?
So it was a lot more hip hop rap beats. I come from, like you're saying, Brighton. If you know about the rap culture in Brighton, it's very like boom bap, hip hop, skaters, baggy jeans, graffiti, that kind of style of rap, and it still is now. Apart from me, there's no one else really. Like it's getting there, but there's no one else really. So yeah, it was. I fell in love with American rap before I did grime, like that Eminem style, and just like freestyling. I never really used to write hooks. The first hook I ever wrote was Jiggy. That's the first chorus in my life I've ever wrote. I've never attempted to try and write one before. I never understood the concept of how to make it catchy. It's something that I literally had to learn.
But that's come naturally though. That's sick.
Yeah, it just happened. But yeah, like literally I'd signed my deal and I was like, right, I should probably learn how to write a hook. This ain't gonna last that long. But yeah, so started off on that. Then it got like, I started making grime music. Grime was big for a while. Skepta made That's Not Me. Stormzy done WhatsApp.
Yes.
The whole of BBK was doing its thing. Like that era was like, yo, I fell in love with UK rap at that point. And Skepta is definitely Skepta, Storms, few other, Harry Shotter and like loads of like the JDZ media platforms, SBTV, Potter Paper, all that kind of music for a while. And then I used to be quite against drill, not as like music, like them man were doing their thing, but for me to jump on it, I didn't feel there was space at the time. Everybody was talking about the criminal shit they're doing and the gangster music and like where they're coming from, and that's not where I come from, and I don't like to be a fake person.
No.
So it was only until like when the likes of like Millions started coming around and that kind of era of drill, which like I got to salute Millions every time because he was one of the first where I was like, oh, so you can come and not scream on the beat and not be all
Or
aggressive.
Millions is sick.
And he has that, the way he executes it and his cadence and the way he raps is so different.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So yeah, his tones, it had musical, like female vocals like sampled in there, and it had guitars and
Yeah, I think you're right, and he's like one of the ones who like transcended like drill from like only like hard and like gangster rap to like you can also talk about feelings on a drill track.
Yeah, he gave drill that level up. There's a few people that done it, and then yeah, when that was all kind of about, I was like, you know what, let me give it a go. Like, I'm the party boy, innit? So let's see. We can talk about partying and stuff on drill. And then even you had like Pop Smoke and stuff. Even though it was still like that kind of gangster rap, it was very like.
It was like dance. You could dance.
Drill was getting played in the clubs, and also, sorry, let me just give a big shout out to Tion and Russ. Like Keisha and Becky came out. Yes. And that's like, okay, drill can get played in the clubs, and it can be like just making music, because I'm all about just the craft and actually making music, innit?
Okay. Sure. So when Body came out and you got signed and you sort of explode in Denmark at least, before that, did you feel like you had a buzz already in Brighton? How was it?
Yeah, so I didn't sign my deal after Body. I signed my deal before Body. Basically what happened was I wrote Jiggy. Yeah, I made Jiggy in my bedroom, literally. I sent it to my manager. My manager liked it. He wasn't my manager yet. I was trying to get him to manage me for ages, and he wasn't feeling it, because I was making like old school rap music, and there wasn't that much market for that at the time. You know what I'm saying? So yeah, I had that. Then he was like, alright, cool, you can't just come with a single. You got to write a freestyle first. You got to show the people that you can rap before they even want to hear a single from you. So I'm giving bare free game right now to anybody. But yeah, so yeah, we wrote a freestyle, and that was Cheeky Bars.
Yeah.
Yes.
And then we so okay, we need to do an Insta freestyle first. Done the Insta freestyle, put Cheeky Bars out. And obviously my manager's quite known in the industry as well. Like he's Dino, if you know who Dino is as an artist, he's his manager as well. He's worked with a few other artists. And after Cheeky Bars, the way I was holding myself as a new artist, like I had the charisma and the personality coming through the screen, it looked like I was already a well-formed artist. And I was fresh-faced, so all the labels are like, who is this kid?
Yes.
So my label come, and salute to Alex and Sam and Dan and the rest of the team. They took a big risk on me, and they threw me a nice change. So
it worked out.
Cool. Yeah. And then done 6 a.m. in Brighton.
Yeah.
And that got 1 million views in 10 days, which for me was unreal. Like I used to be, I had a buzz in Brighton before, but that like a buzz in Brighton was like 10K views. In like a month. And I was like,
nothing you can live off of.
Yeah, like he's got 10,000 views. Brighton's a small place, isn't it? And then from 6 a.m. Tion had already followed me, and he'd liked the post, and then DM'd me after I dropped 6 a.m. and was like, yo, this is hard, keep going. Ended up running into him at an apartment.
How was that like? It was like when you like, but because Tion, I assume like you knew before you like.
Yeah. It was mad. It was mad. I remember I dropped Cheeky Bars, and he followed me.
Yeah.
I was like, fuck. Tion Wayne just followed me. I didn't even have a blue tick yet. So, yeah, and then I dropped 6 a.m. By this time, I'd had a blue tick. Just literally, I remember waking up to my blue tick. Like, oh my God, I've got a blue tick on Instagram. Yeah. And then, yeah, he DM'd me. And was just like, yo, this is hard, keep going. And then by this time, I was getting my little buzz a bit. Everybody was talking about me. I was like the new guy, like in terms of like my scene and some of the London scene. And, yeah, run into him at an apartment in London where I was partying with some girls. And he happened to be on the apartment, like the floor above me. Took me up there, showed me Body. I don't think even Body was out yet, but he showed me the original Body. I was like, yo, we're gonna drop this, and then we're gonna drop a remix. He's like, do you want to have a go at getting the verse? He's like, I can't promise nothing, but I was like, yeah, boom, sent it, bro. As soon as he sent the beat, I wrote 7 verses. I was spitting all the verses to my friends, like, yo, we need to pick the hardest one. We started moving lines from each verse and plotting them in together. And then, yeah.
It came to that.
The buzz came to life.
Perfect, bro.
Literally.
Cool. Okay. So let's talk about, like, when did you realize that you've made it? Like, because you've been at it for a long time. Like, was that around there at the time? Or is there, like, a specific moment in your life when you feel like or have you not feel like you've made it yet? Like,
so this is what I'm going to say. It's like a double-sided question kind of thing, because to say like made it sounds complacent. There's so much further that I've got to go, so much further. Like you couldn't even put it into words. But at the same time, it's like the moment where I knew my life had changed. I was like, yo, this is it. Like I'm that guy now. Was before Cheeky Bars come out. It was before I signed my deal. So I'd met my manager, wrote Jiggy, and everything was kind of falling into place. Like I'd stopped doing all the stuff that I shouldn't have been doing. I got a real job. I started getting like legal money. I started investing into things. I was bunking trains and meeting producers and all sorts. And then had the car freestyle and Cheeky Bars, and we had a rollout plan. And this was the first time in my life as an artist I didn't even know what a rollout plan was. She was like, yo, we got this freestyle. We need to do the marketing plan. And then, so yeah, we had that rollout plan.
You did it professionally at that time.
Yeah. And before this Cheeky Bars freestyle was out, I went to a house party and grabbed my friend. And I was just like, yo, my best friend who's now my PA. I was like, our lives are about to change. And he's like, oh, what are you talking about? Like, you go studio every other day. Like, why is our lives all of a sudden going to change? And it's so unfathomable to some people, do you know what I'm saying? Not like he didn't believe. And I was like, bro, trust me. It's like this rollout plan we've got. I was like, I can feel it. There's something in my ball sack that is telling me that this thing is going to go off. And Cheeky Bars went out. And it was even slow at first. It was like, I think we only got like 5K in an hour.
Okay.
And I was like, nah.
What's going on?
This ain't the way the story goes. Like this is it. Trust me.
Yeah.
Just wait. Boom. 2 days, 100K. Like, and that was wild.
Yeah,
you know what I mean, everyone was like, how? Like somebody from Brighton, where I'm from, has got 100,000 views on Mixtape Madness in 3 days. Yeah. This is unheard of. You know? So that was that moment. Like, yeah, I'm already the guy. You know what I'm saying? Before I was the guy.
I think like when you dropped that, I was like, also I think that's the first thing I saw from you. But also when I saw, I think like the energy and like the confidence from you was like the thing that like I thought, who the fuck is this guy and why? Like what? Why is he like this? Why is he
like that? And that's what the labels were saying. It was like
so
I was
sick.
Already that rapper guy. Charisma and the dancing and the swagger and the funniness and stuff. It was different to what anyone had seen, and I knew that was the first time I'd even done that on a camera. But I knew that everything just had to go the way it went, innit?
Sick, man.
You seem sort of very naturally confident. Were you always confident that you were going to make it as a musician? Yeah,
so that's where I'd always talk about my manifesting stuff. It's never been a thing of like, oh, I really want to make it, or like, I wish I could be a rapper. I used to tell people from year 7 when I was like the first year of secondary school, it's like, yo, I'm going to be a rapper one day. Like, oh, what do you want to do when you're older? I was like, no, I'm going to rap. It's like, oh, but what do you want to be? It's like, no, I'm going to be a rapper. And then people are always like, no, but you need a backup plan. It's like, if you have a backup plan,
you won't do your plan.
You're already planning for failure. You know what I'm saying? You're already thinking that into existence. So yeah, it was all, and I have to give that to my mum. My mum, I know it's cliche, your parents always say, oh, you can do anything.
No, but it's real, man.
But she, you know the saying, monkey see, monkey do. So she'd like shown me rather than saying it. She was like single mum, 2 sons. My older brother's autistic, so he couldn't speak to the age of about 7 or 8. Brought us both up, had 3 jobs, got a black belt in kickboxing. Used to look after her 5 younger brothers, 1 older brother. Like, she'd done that.
Insane hardworking.
And all of this while we're dead broke and struggling. And I didn't even know we were struggling until I got to about year 8, and you start meeting kids from other backgrounds. Because obviously when you're in like primary school, that area is everybody's from the same kind of background, you know what I'm saying? So yeah, I got to secondary school and I was like, right, like some of these kids have got it good, you know. I didn't even fathom that or take it into appreciation, you know what I'm saying?
For sure.
It's cool.
For sure.
So your confidence comes from your mum, you'd say?
Yeah, 100%. Just like she'd always showed me that you can just do what you want. So anything I wanted in my head wasn't unfathomable to some people, and it's not their fault. It's like a small mindset stuck in like a box kind of thing.
It's like what you've been told through your life.
Can't think outside. It's training. You can't think outside of your environment, and that's always been something that I've been able to do from young.
I really believe in that manifestation. What you tell, what comes back to you as well. Like, because that what you do when you tell yourself that.
You keep telling yourself it, and you keep speaking it out into existence naturally. And if you believe it, you can't. So like, if this had water in it right now, and I tipped it upside down, you don't believe water's going to fall out of it. You know water's going to fall out of it. It's exactly the same as that. You have to 100% know that it's going to happen, and you will just, your body will just start naturally doing it.
Yeah, and the other way as well, if you've been telling yourself negative things in all your life, like that's what's going to happen, so you have to change that.
100%.
So at no point in like it's now like 8 years into making music, right? No point you never doubted yourself.
There was one time.
Oh, one time.
Anytime you want to tell about? Or?
Yeah, I mean, it was at a time where we'd just been kicked out of our house. Just so like we weren't really making up rent. They wanted to sell it. They tried to offer us, like, obviously we couldn't afford to buy a house, and my mum had bills falling out of her ears. The first time I'd ever seen my mum break down crying in 16 years of growing up with her and that. And I was doing things that I shouldn't have been doing to try and help out with money, but I wasn't even really helping out with money. I was just caught up in bullshit and doing fucking stupid things that teenagers are doing and that. And but I was putting a lot of money into like studio and music videos, and like I'd have £400, and obviously you make money last. But I was like, I'd put it all on a music video, and then I'd really rely on that. But obviously, not knowing the industry, I'm not thinking of a rollout plan. I'm not saving money for marketing. I'm just putting it out there. And I'm just like, yo, this ain't working. And my best friend, the one that I pulled over in the party, the one that's my PA now, I was like, listen, yo, like, we need to just go get some money, bro. I don't care how we get it. I don't care about this music no more. I'm looking at certain other rappers from the local town that were doing better than me and hating on them, if I'm being completely honest. Like, it's like, yeah, you know what, I'm not even bothering with it no more. You know what I'm saying? I'm harder than half these people and they're not taking me in, so
for sure.
That's it. And he was the one was like, bro, he was like, had the whole conversation, smoked some joints, calm down. And he was like, bro, just give it one more go. He's like, just for me, innit? Just stick at it for like 6 more months, but do me a favor. And he's like, just cut out all these like certain people that you're hanging around with or certain things you're doing. If you focused all that energy as well as the energy you are on the music, think of where that would be. And I was like, all right, cool. So like I said, I stopped it all. I got a job in an Amazon warehouse. I got put in that kind of money, which is it's better money than what I was making doing stupid stuff anyway, because it was a paycheck that I was getting weekly or monthly or whatever. And and I'd started believing it, and I was like, yeah, no, this is, it all kind of makes sense, because I look at my life as like a book. So I'm like, that was the dilemma. Do you know what I'm saying? When you have like the intro of the story, and then you find out about the character, and you feel sorry for him, and then you start to see the turn of the story, and now you're rooting for the character. And I was like,
what does he do? What does he do?
Yeah, this is my turning point in my story. I knew literally this is how it was meant to be written. I was meant to go through all that, and that was when I was like, yeah, I know this is where. For sure,
you've learned a lot about that stuff. I can imagine from that as well.
Yeah, 100%.
So with now like making it mainstream and big and everything, what's your like? Do you have a specific goal with your music, or is it like right now just to have fun, or is it to make the most money, or is it like to be the greatest alive, or what is? I mean, do you have any thoughts about that?
Yeah, the greatest alive is always the thing, because I'm a massive attention seeker. I don't like anybody being better than me. I'm the most competitive person you've met. I used to go to like rap ciphers, and if I wasn't the best, there'd be a break. I'll go to the bathroom and I'll write the hardest fucking verse you've ever heard and come back into that cipher and drop that verse, innit? Like, I'm about to go beat your verse.
So you're a perfectionist as well, like.
Such a perfectionist. That's a positive and negative thing. But yeah,
stress
that's one
as well,
of the goals.
course, but you'll do your best,
Yeah, man, that's one of the goals. I'd like to tour the world, but in cities like Japan or places where like their English either just doesn't exist or like it's really not strong. But my music connects people together, and they all come there, and I'm connected with them, and we can all like share that moment. I'd love to just tour the whole world, and also just to leave a legacy. I mean, I want my legacy, I want my footprint on the earth, my impact, to make an impact way after I'm gone. You know what I'm saying? Like all the greats. So
it's cool. Sure, good answer, man. Good answer.
So my first one.
Sick.
So we talked a bit about where your confidence and energy comes from. If there's someone out there who doesn't have the same confidence, perhaps, or is going through some of the same sort of issues with music, what would your advice be to them?
I mean, it's a difficult one, because confidence all really just comes from not giving anybody who comes to me and says, oh, but I don't have confidence. Yeah, you do. You just give a fuck about other people caring about when you're confident. Because you might be confident, and that person who's like, oh, why do you think you're like, or who do you think you are, or like, you're not this guy, or why do you think you're the man, and whatever. That person's only saying that to you because he's not confident. Like he can't do that himself. So why do you think you can do that? Do you know what I'm saying? So confidence always is the first thing, but also just trying as hard as you can. And again, I'm lucky. I come from Brighton. I come from being raised by my mum in a place where I was very free to learn about myself. Brighton's a judge-free town, so you can just kind of be yourself. There's not much sheep following, whereas like in certain cities, I know, for example, in like London, there's a lot of trend following. Everybody will follow this one trend, and when that trend dies, they all kind of wear the same garms, and they do the same things and whatnot. And Brighton's not like that. But yeah, finding yourself as a character and then just amplifying that through music. If you're mad weird and don't dress the way everybody else dresses, and you don't talk the same way, and you want to dye your hair rainbow color and wear your right shoe and your fucking left foot, like then that's your niche.
Do it,
yeah. That's as long as there will be people out there. Do you know how big the world is, bro? 8 billion people. There will be people out there that will feel that and connect with you and appreciate your confidence, rather than being like, nah, don't just think you're some rapper. Think you're the rapper before you're the rapper, or the singer, or the artist, or the painter, or whatever it is you want to do.
That's like advice for anyone who likes advice, not just artists.
You have talent as like a motivational speaker. Very inspiring.
I'm trying.
when you're a retired rapper, yeah, you can do.
Yeah, man. What are we doing? PowerPoints and keynotes and TED talks and that.
You talked, the confidence and everything. Like, so energetic, like as a person, you can feel it in the room when you step in. Like, and like, so does that bring any like misconceptions about you, or do you meet any like misconceptions, like if you read online or anything? Like,
I mean, a few. It makes a lot of. I don't want to say this about like. It makes certain people feel inferior or under threat, especially as men. And like you got like dominance and alpha male, and I'm like, I'm not.
All that stupid shit.
I'm 5 foot. I don't fight. I'm not a fighter like that. Like it's not in my blood and kind of things. I'm a friendly person, but yeah. So some people take it as arrogance, and sometimes I'm a bit arrogant if I want to be. But
it can be that.
That's allowed. That can be a problem sometimes, because then the big. Fucking
but that comes with the confidence. You can't be not.
But then the big 6 foot guy that doesn't have that kind of confidence, but is like pretty, and he's got all the muscle, he's got all the money, and he's thinking, well, why aren't I like that? And now they want to fight. So that can be a problem. Also, sometimes people like in terms of the energy and like my bouncing this, and sometimes I'm just fun and I don't care about taking the piss out of myself and I'm gonna laugh. A lot of people used to assume, not so much no more, because I've done interviews, because I've made different kind of songs. Yeah, they used to assume that maybe I might not be that intelligent, or like I'm not an intellectual, and it's definitely it's such a big misconception, because everything you see, I've planned for you to see. Yeah. So when I'm doing hey and I'm being all funny and like I look like I'm a bit of a class clown and that, I am that guy as well. But that's because I want you to see that side of me right now.
But I can imagine like the people who have that conception of you is only like the people who haven't like studied you or like read your lyrics or like seen some interviews.
They just heard the hook. And
yeah, maybe like seen a clip of you being stupid somewhere, like or anything like
Exactly.
Yeah. Let's talk a little bit about like some features in the future, or like that you have done. Like you've done a feature with T and Wayne and other big artists. Like, do you have like a specific dream feature that you want to give out? Like anything, like from anywhere it could be.
I mean, UK wise, I've said it in every interview so far. We've been in contact, not so much in terms of music. He actually gave me some advice. It was mad cool. That was to be fair, I told a lie earlier. I've been starstruck twice. This was via Instagram. But yeah, young Ads is somebody that I'd love to work with. He gave me some advice while I was on my Australian tour.
Bro, that collab would be sick. I think
Bro, I've been a fan. He's been my favorite UK rapper and artist, because when I don't know if you know, but he's got like freestyles on YouTube that aren't that popular, that are fucking like lyrically and just like concept and what he's talking about are insane. But yeah, he's definitely somebody I'd like to work with for sure. I think me and AJ Tracy could make a banger. I think like for the clubs or just like for the charts and whatnot, I think we can make a.
You both stepped into like the US sound a little bit, so
I think we can make a big tune. And then if you've got like Dream collabs, we're talking like
let's dream. Man.
Well, I mean,
why not?
If we're talking alive, Lil Wayne. Is my favorite. He is, in my eyes, the greatest rapper of all time. I know there's like the old school like Biggie, Tupac, and the ones that everyone mentioned. I didn't grow up on that. I grew up on Lil Wayne and Eminem. But yeah, Lil Wayne's my favorite rapper. Eminem would just be an insane dream for me. He's the reason that I'm even rapping today. The reason that I fell in love with rap.
He's like the GOAT for you.
Yeah. Well, it's a toss and turn between. I think I've got way more Lil Wayne on my playlist. Yeah. But when I was growing up, religiously every Eminem album, like you could put any Eminem tune on now, I could spit it to you word for word, 100%.
Crazy.
100%.
Sick. Okay.
We have one question that we always ask our guests, which ties together with what you just said. Yeah. So your top 5 rappers ever,
dead or alive?
Dead or alive.
Could be
but
dead or alive.
Your top 5.
My top 5.
So you like decide the
in terms
frames.
of like lyrical ability, or just
you decide the terms, like so your own top 5. Like, you mentioned some rappers now.
Yeah, we'll put we'll put Eminem at number 1, just for so many reasons.
You don't have to put them.
I ain't got to order them.
If you want, you can do that. You can do it.
No,
try if you can.
I'll try to order them. Eminem, Lil Wayne, Jadakiss, Prodigy from Mobb Deep, Rest in Paradise. Me.
Amazing, man. Crazy. That surprises me, if I have to say it though. That do surprise me a little bit, like with some of the old school rappers. Now you said it like in the start of the interview, like you listen a lot to.
Yeah, I mean, it was a thing of like, if I was gonna come in the game, especially, it's like how do I say it? It's a much more like hip hop culture is very like cliquey.
Yeah.
So I was like, if I'm gonna break in and be accepted, I gotta study the game. I gotta pay my respects and my dues. I need to learn what everybody else learned, and I'm young, so I've got a lot more to catch up on than the guy who started in 2000 and got to catch up on from the 80s. So I got from the 80s till what 2012, 13 to catch up on. So yeah, something that I take a lot of pride in, but also I care about the rap and the music, and I wouldn't ever want to disrespect the culture. So.
For sure, man.
Cool.
Do you have final words for your Danish fans here in Denmark?
Yeah, I'm excited to box some of you lot. I've met a few of you already. I've heard that it's going to be absolutely crazy. If you missed the show, I'm sure I'm going to be back here. I'm sure once you've seen this, you've probably seen some viral moment because we're about to tear the fucking roof off that place. It's been myself, ArrDee.
For sure, bro.
Thank you for joining us,
Thank you so much,
bro.
Thank you. We'll see you later, man.